Hey guys, this is Kisune from www.plusevpokerstrategy.com. I'm going to make a short video today about turning mid hands into bluff on the river. I wrote an article about 6 factors to profitably turn your hand into a bluff on the river on my website. If you're watching this from a video hosting site, I would suggest that you go to my site and check out the article first. In the article, the 6th factor that I was talking about is when your opponent can and does value bet light. That's the first factor. When the second factor is when your opponent seldom have a nutted hand. The third factor is when your perceived range include nutted hands. The fourth factor is when the table dynamics allow you to bluff. The fifth factor is when you have blockers to the nuts. And the last factor is when there's a good pot to stack ratio. There's enough money behind for you to shove. Okay, and in this video I'll be just going through 2 examples and showing you how to do the calculations to see how much full equity you actually have. Bet light, that's the first factor. When the second factor is when your opponent seldom have a nutted hand. The third factor is when your perceived range include nutted hands. The fourth factor is when the table dynamics allow you to bluff. The fifth factor is when you have blockers to the nuts. And the last factor is when there's a good pot to stack ratio. There's enough money behind for you to shove. Okay, and in this video I'll be just going through 2 examples and showing you how to do the calculations to see how much full equity you actually have, given that you have the correct reads on your opponent. Okay, let's check this first example. As you can see here, I have written down the scenario. We have 100 big blinds effective stacks. Is big blind versus button versus 2.5, we call. With the flop come out 2-5-6, we check call. The turn is queen putting 2 clubs on the board and we check call again. The river is a 10, we check and villain bet 30 into 35.5. And notice that we have 85 left behind. So this whole thing is the calculator that I created in an Excel file. So now the pot is 65.5 and we are shoving 85, which means we need a full equity of 56.48. In a standard situation like that, your opponent will have about 2.4 to 1 to make the call. That is his pot odds. If you have more than 100 big blinds, you'll be able to put more pressure on your opponent, but since a more standard situation, 100 big blinds, we just use 100 big blinds as an example. Okay, let's see what strong value hands can villain have. Villain would almost definitely bet aces, kings, queens, deuces, 5s, and 6. Other strong hands could include 2 pairs, which is king queen or 6-5 suited. I will not include any 1 pair hand in here. You could, if you wanted to, like king ace. Yeah, you could add king ace here, I guess. Yeah, 6 combo of aces, 3 combos of king, 3 combos of queens, 3 combos of deuces, 3 combos of 5, 3 combos of 6s, 12 combos of king 5. You have 2 combos of 6-5 suited, and you have 12 combos of ace king. Given that there's a backdoor flush draw, it's very likely that opponent will bluff his missed flush draws, which may include hands like which would like have 8 to 12 combos Let's give him 10 combos of backdoor flush draws. No, he will have all ace X, that's for sure, and he will have some king X, which actually hit the pair in the river. Something like 10 jack, 7 8, all those kind of draws. What does he value bet tin with? That is the combos here. He probably will value bet ace queen. He might value bet queen jack. He might value bet jacks and tens. I mean, seeing that, because you have to understand that our hands looks like 6x, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s at most. Given that it's big blind versus button, we probably raise pocket 10s anyway. So we only wrapping a very weak range of hands when we check call. So he might value bet all these hands for really thin value to balance his bluffs. You have 12 combos of ace queen, 12 combos of queen jack, 6 combos of this. Okay, let's not put 10s here. Let's put king jack here instead and king 10. So there's 12 combos and 12 combos. As you can see here, this is the real 4 equity that we need. It's basically everything here. Sorry, it takes the combo that he will be calling with divided by the total combos. As you can see that we almost broke even in the call. We are slightly plus EV, but not by much. If we actually shove 85 here, assuming that we are like 10 big blinds deeper or whatever, and we shove 95, now we wouldn't have enough for equity. But that's, of course, I assume that he calls with ace king and ace queen. But truth be told, when we check shove this river, we were just representing like some sets, and that's about it. We're wrapping sets and nothing else. So he might fold ace 10 or ace king. We're not too sure about that. Let's put aces and ace king here, assuming he actually folds those hands. All of a sudden we have 74% for equity, which is a ton of for equity, and makes this a super profitable bluff. Doesn't really matter what we can have here. But let's not be too optimistic about him folding aces and ace king. But let's say he can have some more draws. Like, I'm pretty sure he can have 7 8 here, versus a very aggressive preflop raiser that is raising like 50+% on the button. He will have 8 7 offsuit and suited most of the time, and this is 16 combos. Assuming he bluff all his bluff combos, I mean, if he's trying to balance it with jacks, he should be bluffing almost his entire bluff range here. We still have enough for equity to shove here. Of course, that your for equity will differ a lot by what do you think he value bet tin and folds. By what do you think that he will actually fold. I mean, if he's bet calling king jack and king 10, I mean, then that would never be profitable. But assuming he will fold all his weak kings, for all this one pair type hand, all this top pair type hand, it becomes a really profitable fold. So when you have this kind of board texture that come out, the only thing you should be asking yourself is he folding ace king? Assuming that he will value bet light and he have a wide range by the river, and he's bluffing all his misdraws, you should be asking yourself, is he folding ace king? If he fold ace king on this river, like shove all day long, and it will be profitable. Okay, I have a second example here. Let me change this back. Alright, in the second example, sorry, in the article I was talking about whether you have blockers to the nuts, and that's what the second example is about, having blockers to the nuts. The same scenario I'm using for the article I used is that, say villain raise in middle position, you're on the button and you call with pocket tens. Now you have pocket tens and you call with pocket tens. The flop come out 8, 9, deuce rainbow. He bets, we call, turns a queen. He bets, we call, rivers ace. He bets, and we shove. Well, in this case, because it's a middle position versus button scenario, the pot will be much bigger than before, and villain is actually getting really good odds to make a call. So we must think about that when we are shove bluffing too. Villain almost certainly can have aces, queens, eights, deuces, and twos. These are all the sets, which is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. He could have ace, queen, 2. Sorry, let me think. How many combos of ace, queen do you have? You have about 8 combos here, if I'm not wrong. And he will be value betting pretty thin on his river too, I would say. William will probably have king, queen. He'll have ace, king, ace, jack. Something like ace 10 suited. What else aces can he have? Maybe he can have jack, queen, suited. I'm not too sure whether he will raise jack, queen offsuit. Oh, sorry, he could have 10 jack too. Bluffs. He's probably bluffing king jack here. He might be bluffing, some random king 10 suited since he's in middle position. He might have something like 8-7 suited or 10-9 suited that he decided. Sorry, 8-7 suited that he decided to turn into a bluff. He could very much have ace-9 too, ace-9 suited. But you understand once again that when we check shove this river, when we shove this river to a river bet, we are wrapping 10 jack, and that's about it. That we are wrapping 10 jack, and so anything that cannot beat 10 jack, 10 jack is nuts. Nothing can beat 10 jack here. So everything that he have is a bluff catcher. Here are 12 combos of king, queen, 12 combo of ace, king, 12 combos of ace, jack. Here we have 3 combos of ace 10 suited, 12 combos, 3 combos of queen jack suited. You got 16 combos of this, 4 combos of this, and 3 combos of this. As you can see here, since we are not putting a lot more money into the river, we only need 48% equity for him to fold. And if you include jack 10 suited, he only can have 2 jack 10 suited because we already have 2 tens. Ace 9 suited, he can have like 2 or 1 depending. No, he can have 2, yeah. So as you can see, our full equity is 70.65%, which is ridiculously high. Even though he have quite some combos of strong hands, he can have all sets, straights, and a lot of 2 pairs. We have a ton of full equity on this river. You know, because the river is such a good card to bluff, we just have to assume that he bluff a lot. But the question is whether he bets Queen X on this particular river. I think a very aggressive opponent will be betting Queen X on this river, especially Queen King and Queen Jack, but he might not. So, you know, for argument's sake, let's just remove this. You know, even if you remove this, you can see here that we are so much more profitable. Sorry, I mean, we are still profitable. If, you know, say that he does not have all this bluff, you know, just give him 16 combos of King, Jack, it's still going to be profitable. You know, say he only bluff half of the combos of King Jacks by the river and give up half of them. As you can see, it's still profitable to shove this river, which is pretty ridiculous, right? You know, so when it's really hard for your opponent to have the nuts, and you can wrap the nuts like really nicely, you know, with especially Jack 10, you should just go ahead and shove and bluff him. You know, once again, if you haven't read the article on my website, please visit www.plusevpokerstrategy.com and read the article. The title article is under 6 factors to profitably turn your hand into a bluff on the river. In the article, I was talking about something to be cautious about. One is, you know, don't ever try to rebuff calling station. Doesn't matter how, you know, light does the fellow value bet or how much the fellow is bluffing. You know, he's gonna call you down with all his value hands. You know, assuming if he calls down with just 1 pair, you know, then all of a sudden it's like a really, really bad bluff here. It's pretty much suicidal. The second thing I ask you to be caution about is not to do it too often. People will pick up on it really fast. The third one is do not bluff villains that get married to the pot. This might be regulars and not even weak players, but just do not fold top pair ever. I've seen some of these, you know, players that have really regular stats, you know, 20, 18, 22, 18. They play pretty decent game, but I think they have this mentality that everyone is trying to bluff them or something like that all the time, so they will not fold top pair in almost any scenario. I've seen that, so do not bluff people like that. Besides that, you know, shove the river as long as it meets all your requirement. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Until next time, this is Kitsune101 from plusevpokerstrategy.com. Thank you.